First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Ready, waiting. Check line 54, line 54. I'm here all day. I'm here all day.
A look at Kerryon Johnson, second-year man out of Auburn. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
At the 24-yard line.
Set, waiting. Defense wins championships, baby. 45.
Throwing is Stafford. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Devin White, the rookie out of LSU, there to bat that one away.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11.
Hey. Mike, 45. Strip the ball. Strip that ball.
From the gun, here's Stafford. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Evans. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Last week, somehow they won. He threw all those picks, but they still won. Here, opening drive, unfortunately, he picked up where he left off.
Partner, you get a lot of extra patience when you find a way to win despite you making mistakes. But starting out again this game, that patience is going to wear thin really quick, and I think the guys on the defensive side of the ball will be the first ones.
And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Devon Kennard has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. Credit the tackle to Darius Slay. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. And trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
3rd and long for Winston. And that will be incomplete.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Now Stafford. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down.
13 yards on the play.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. A gain of 6 there on first.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 44-yard line.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Take 4, take 4.
Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. And some room to roam now. And he gets this down deep into Tampa Bay territory. A big hitter. That one goes for 40 yards. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Stafford throws complete to Galladay. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. Give him maybe a yard, quite the opposite from the previous big gainer.
2nd and 9 at the Buccaneers' 15-yard line.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter.
Check 24. Watch 24. 21. Hey, easy.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Stafford, throw right side into the hands of the tight end Sample. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
Hey, let's go one more. 45.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Marvin Jones with touchdown number 8 on the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
The losing streak had taken on a life of its own, and I think it infiltrates a team when you're on that much of a slide. But this group has managed to focus, come out early, and put a touchdown on the board. They look like they mean business in this one.
They do. Now the key, holding on to that attitude because, man, that streak has been a struggle for them. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM, it always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
Ready?
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what...
And Winston lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. 20. And into the end zone. A scoop and score on the fumble return for the Detroit touchdown. They give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice you're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Ready?
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Here we go.
On first down, they'll run with Hunt. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. Tavon Wilson up to make the tackle.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Winston connected with Howard, and he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
And with the Buccaneers' new coaching staff, you have to figure they're going to want to use O.J. Howard a little bit more this season. 34 catches, 565 yards last year, but that was in only 10 games. 6'6", 251, and can run. Find a way to get him the ball as they just did there.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On the counter, Hunt. And Justin Coleman brings him down. When you're down early, how do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Play action now. Winston. Going to throw deep for the end zone. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
But one thing's for sure, when you've got a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. They come up now, 3rd and 5, following the incomplete pass. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. Trey Flowers able to record his 5th sack of the season. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed in this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
70, 65, 65, 66, pull it high.
On the toss, here's Johnson. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. After one, a 14-3 ball game. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
22. Go. Rush. Hey. Rush in. 50.
They're going draw play. Stafford to Johnson.
Here we go.
After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Shaquille Barrett in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25.
Wait.
Here's Winston. And Winston lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And into the end zone, a scoop and score on the fumble return for the Detroit touchdown. So that is now 2 fumble return touchdowns. And you talk about something that's going to drive a head coach crazy.
Without a doubt. But for the defensive guys, once you do it once, you create a frenzy. Everybody wants to get involved, and they got it done a second time.
Extra point good by Prater. And the lead is up to 18 now. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. Now left side on the swing pass. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Give him 32 on the play. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. The intended receiver, Andre Ellington. And it's second down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
On second down, Winston again. And Winston lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Winston from the gun on third down. He's got Evans. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. A familiar ring to that one. Winston to Evans for the Buccaneer first. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, Winston. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Here's Winston. Over the middle to Evans. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first. First time into the red zone for the Buccaneers. They've got a 1st and 10 from the 10. Out of the gun, they run it with Hunt. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. On 2nd and 11 now. Winston. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Trey Flowers in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Third and long.
Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long.
Hey, you got 3 down, 3 down.
Working out of the gun, Winston. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
Gay's kick is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The
leverage.
big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Back to the air. Stafford on 2nd down. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
Let's get it.
The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5.
It's just me and you.
Now Stafford. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
A great return there of 22 yards. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder. It puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
5 on the 50. 5 on the 50.
Winston. He's got his tight end over the middle, O.J. Howard. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. They'll try to run for the 1st down with Hunt. And he will have the 1st down as he gets this to the 47. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. Now after the run by Hunt, here's 1st and 10. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Howard.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Winston now finding Godwin, complete and brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down.
Chris Godwin, the former Penn Stater, should see an increase in action and production in 2019 with Adam Humphries and Deshaun Jackson gone from the team. 842 yards in 2018, second only to Mike Evans on the Buccaneers.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. On 2nd and a yard, Winston, and he slings one that's incomplete. The intended target was Chris Godwin, and it's 3rd and short.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. A 3rd field goal in the 1st half, not what they're looking for as they come up on 3rd down.
Hey, Mike 51, Mike 51. Ready?
Jameis to throw it. Complete. He finds Bray. And he gets the 1st down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Throwing, Winston, buying time to his left. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. They'll run with Hunt on 2nd down. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this 1st half. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal.
Check nickel. Watch Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Wait.
Now Winston. And Evans hauls it in. Touchdown, Bucs. Mike Evans in the final seconds of the first half, as they're now just an extra point away from getting back within one score. Extra point by Gay is up and good, and that'll cut the lead to 21-17. Following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
So we have reached halftime here in what's an 8-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. It's a big play. Winston to Evans. 45 yards. Hey, you need a big play? Go to your big play guy.
Listen, that's football 101. When you have to have it, you expect that guy to step up. A lot of people call these receivers divas. Sometimes just leadership when they get in the huddle and say, get me the ball. I'm about to make a big play.
On first down. It's Hunt, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or two.
At the 44-yard line.
Ready. You ready. You don't want that. 5 on the 50. 5 on the 50. 5 on the 50. Let's go, Abby. Abby, what you got? What you got, Abby?
On second and 11 now. Winston. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now Winston. Open man is Godwin. It's complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on third and long? To throw is Winston. It's caught inside the 25. 30 yards there, and, of course, the first down as well. That's now 2 big catches on this drive for him.
You know, the NFL keeps talking about the possibility of using video for coaching on the sidelines. That's not approved yet, but you can still use pictures. They've got to send his picture down to their defense and say, you see him? Cover it.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Kill. Even.
On 2nd down and 4, Winston steps away. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
And 4 yards to go.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down.
Flip. Check. 3 down. Check 3.
Winston. Eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this. For a big guy, Jameis sure can move. Did a nice job there picking up the first down with his legs.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Mike Evans with his 14th touchdown of the year, 2nd of the game, as his guys have cut the lead down to 2. To throw, Winston goes right side, and he's got it. So they went ahead and went for 2 to tie the game, and it works out. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Back to throw, Stafford. High throw, but the catch is made. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him think.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
Hey!
On 1st and 10, Stafford. Working the middle here, that's complete to Sample, the tight end. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 23 yards on the play. So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Stafford looks to throw again. And Jones has it over the middle. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Let's go. Check 43. 49. Check 49.
Now Johnson. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. And the Bucs with an extra defender in the secondary now on third down.
Hey. Motion. Hey, 22. Hey, orbit.
Throwing is Stafford. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Justin Evans. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed?
And Winston lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And his guys will take over at the 14-yard line in the red zone.
Brandon, that's the third time he's fumbled so far in this game. And, you can make excuses for each and every one of them. But the bottom line is he's got to take care of it better. And now that he's shown a propensity for fumbling it, just think about what the defenders are trying to do.
Yeah, well, guys hate one fumble. Twos, oh, my goodness, 3 or more. Wow.
Just doesn't make any sense, does it?
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On 2nd and 10, Stafford. His pass caught at the 4. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
And a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets...
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Lions have taken the lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Here we go.
First and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Ready.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
You always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Here's Winston. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field, and that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
I remember a coach telling me a long time ago the difference between playing corner and safety in the NFL. Corner is like the Autobahn. Everybody just flying by, and these corners have been really busy in this game, although they got it done on the last play.
On the last play, yes, but there have been some good numbers put up against them offensively. Here's Hunt. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Winston now. Evans has it left side. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Mike Evans, 72 yards, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain it.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately assume that last week it totally carries over, but you got to like the start that he has, showing those great hands that we've seen from him throughout.
And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
At their own 17-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Looking to throw again on second down. Stafford. And that's off the mark, incomplete. Kerryon Johnson, the intended receiver, and it'll bring up third down.
Let's phrase this delicately, okay? Might have had a better option instead of throwing the football into double coverage.
He was blanketed. I was surprised that he went his direction.
Yeah, should have thought maybe about the check down. Take the completion, keep moving.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6.
Five. Come on, 45. Let's go, defense. Let's get up.
From the gun, here's Stafford. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. And that'll do it for the end of the 2nd quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. And this will be taken at the 13. A tremendous return there, 39 yards. And the Buccaneer offense will be set up well as they take over. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Jameis now on first down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Evans. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 15 yards as Tampa Bay picks up the first. Jameis now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. And this is going to be intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. The 40. Past the 20. 10. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. In a tie game 4th quarter, that's about as big of a defensive play as you can possibly make.
And it didn't happen by accident. That was scouting right there. They've seen things that have happened before. They knew in certain situations type of plays they like to run, read it, and were able to go after the football, get it, and take it into the end zone for a touchdown for themselves.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Bucs take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
To throw again on second down. Winston over the middle, complete. That's Hunt. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards the pickup there. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Jameis again. That's caught out left by Perriman. And he is down at the 48. A pickup of 4 that started at 148-yard line and ended at the other.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Here's Winston, and he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard, complete. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 37. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. They'll drop the throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10.
Pick me up. Here we go. Follow.
To the air again with Winston. And he comes back with one complete. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 20-yard line. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 17-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Winston. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Deshaun Hand able to record his 5th sack of the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long.
51 to Mike, boy, 51. Yeah. You don't want to.
Working out of the gun, Winston. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And Gay knocks this one through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, you know, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on 2nd down.
6 man. Check curls, check curls.
Here's Johnson. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down.
Bravo. Hey, easy. 45 to Mike. 45 to Mike. You gonna see the
Now Stafford. Now a leaping catch. He's got it. Stafford to Jones. Enough for a Lion first down.
A gain of 10 yards.
He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Stafford. He's going to look deep down the field. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Now a 10th carry for Johnson. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
And this is an absolutely big third down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Has to. You said big third down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here.
Right there. 54, right there.
Hey, let go.
Set the tone, defense. Let's go. Mike 54. Mike 50.
Throwing on third down. Stafford. And almost intercepted. That would have been his 3rd pick in this game alone. Instead, 4th down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
We've got a 1-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Wilson. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions. Well, he tried to get rid of it. Pressure was coming right in his face, and it turned out to be a bad thing.
And it's so easy to be critical of him in that spot. But when you have all those people bearing down on you, probably his last thought was just get rid of the ball. Give them what they want. Unfortunately, he gave it to them too well. Picked it off, ran it back for a touchdown.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Winston. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. It's caught inside the 25. 36 yards on the play. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
With a dime look on defense, 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Here's Winston. Sliding out of the pocket. And fights through one man. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Devon Kennard in there to drop him as that clock continues to run.
I remember throughout my career hearing defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
A 51-yard attempt.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds remaining. So they come up on second down, and they can get another run like we just saw. Would likely put an end to this thing. They go to Johnson again. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them.
A loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 35-yard line.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Lions, it's just their 3rd win on the campaign as they move to 3-11 on the year. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Denver Broncos. Meanwhile,